Hello, everybody. Corey here. Let me adjust my camera. We are testing out, once again, struggling with OBS, trying to get it to go for longer than it's been going for. So if you know anything about OBS and streaming, let me know. It's really frustrating because I use Streamlabs and I have no issues, but I decided, like, hey, I'm going to switch to OBS because I don't need everything that Streamlabs has. It's a little bit more CPU heavy as well, so I'm like, oh, I'll go with what, kind of the standard is. And I have had just nothing but issues. So in Streamlabs, I'm able to go, I could record for 30, 40 minutes, an hour, go as long as I want to on a live. And no issues. And OBS, I can record, but at some point, a stop stream command gets issued and disconnects from YouTube, and then it only ends up having like 5 minutes of the stream. So, trying to figure that out. So, it's just kind of a casual hang. Maybe not much talking about Magic. Maybe not much talking about much. Just trying to see if maybe now I've got it figured out. I lowered my frames per second from 60 down to 30, hoping maybe that helps. So yeah, we'll see. Like right now, everything is looking okay. And maybe it's when I'm switching stuff back and forth, but like right now, OBS is saying that I'm live, there's no issues. If I go to the YouTube site, it's showing everything's fine with no issues once again. So I'm not really sure what is what's happening. It's really, really frustrating. So, and maybe it's just a matter of how I'm using it. So, yeah, so that's kind of what we're doing here. So I'm not actually drinking coffee. That was from this morning. It is empty. I actually need to clean this out because that's gross. But I do have water. Water. So yeah, that is where we are at right now. So hopefully the video is looking good as long as this is still working. So far, but we're only at the 4-minute mark. So far, everything's looking good. In some Magic news, I actually found out, it's actually a current conversation that is going on in one of my group chats on Telegram with some magicians, that my local magic shop, the one that I used to manage, has now closed up for good. And honestly, I am not surprised at all. Literally not surprised at all. They had some good management for a while, and I think that individual stepped down, which is unfortunate. I think though she had other things that she was more passionate about, and she kind of stepped down. And honestly, there was probably other things that led to her even getting the position. She was good for it. I'm not saying she wasn't good for it, but I do think that they went to her. So I don't know what is going on. So the video stopped again. I don't see any reason that it stopped. It stopped just after the 5-minute mark. And I don't know. Okay, well, anyways, I'm glad I noticed that though while I was looking at it. So that's just a pain in the butt. So I've got to figure that out still. But anyway, so so the local magic shop closed, and it's funny because I was in there not long ago, and just looking around at stuff. And I asked about, hey, when are you guys gonna get any kind of new magic in? Because that's the big thing. Like, you've got to be able, like, you can't compete with online at this point. But you can find people who want to buy local and want to support your magic shop. But you can only do that if you're getting some new product in once in a while. And I was told just blankly, like, we're not getting anything until we sell the rest of this, until we sell this old stuff. And a lot of the stuff in that magic shop has been there for longer than I've been alive. The owner of the magic shop is very much like, oh, it'll sell, people want it, collectors want it. And they don't. And there's so much old magic that's just outdated, it's not useful. It's been improved upon and they don't have the improvements, that it's not going to go anywhere. And they've done a lot of bad deals. Even when I was there, they did bad deals. And it's sad, but they refuse to really sell anything. And that's the frustrating part. So, like, I mean, not to sell anything, but to, like, mark anything down. So it's like, using this Orphic wallet is a really bad example, but, let's say this was not successful. Let's say it came out like 10, 15 years ago. Retails for $60. I don't remember how much I bought this for, but retails for $60. You've got 20 of them and they've never sold. They're just sitting there, and not selling. And at my local magic shop, it was like, oh, well, they're going to sell eventually. 20 years later, still $60. And it's just such a crappy attitude to have. Like, when you're in retail, like, you have people who aren't retail minded running retail. And that's for the whole family that owns this company, this parent company and everything. They're not really retail minded. They think all along those lines, it's going to sell eventually. And one of the big things in retail is, one, you have to always be moving things around, and that's, people get frustrated, and I get frustrated too. But when you go to a store, that's why they rearrange things, is to make you have to look for it, so you will shop and look for things, and you're more out to buy things. And magic shops are no different. Like, you've got to kind of move things around. You've got to do that. But once a product is on your shelf for like 90 days and has not moved, you have lost money on that product, because that product is now taking up space that could be a product that is selling. It may be a product that's much smaller and maybe less valuable, where you might have this at 60 and this at 10 retail, but this isn't moving, and you have $1,200 worth sitting on the floor, and you're selling 3 or 4 of these a day, or you could be selling 3 or 4 of these a day, but you're too busy making sure that this has enough time on the floor. So the typical rule of retail is, after about 90 days, if something's not selling and you've moved it, especially if you've moved it, it goes on clearance. Some companies, like big box stores like Walmart's and Targets, will do it much faster than that. They might wait 30 days. It's not selling. Let's make it clearance and get rid of it. It depends. It also depends on the cost of the stuff. But this magic shop is known for not ever putting anything on any kind of sale or any kind of clearance. And when they do, they don't even mark it. So it's just something like, you find out at the register that it's on some kind of value discount. And it's just really, really frustrating. So, it is what it is. But it's ridiculous that that's something that has to be dealt with, and isn't really working the way that it should be. It has to be dealt with. So this stream is not going good. I've restarted like twice now, so right around 5 minutes it keeps resetting, so I've got to figure that out. But yeah, so that's, I don't know, it's very frustrating because you also have a magic shop that's not really involved in the magic community. And that's sad. Like they used to be, and I think, the manager that I know that I think that had to kind of step back to do something that she's more passionate about, tried really hard. But it's hard when you've had bad management in there and you don't have anything to sell them. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like when I managed the shop, we didn't have, granted, there wasn't a massive online presence to work with or to deal with. You had Illusionist. Theory 11 was not even, I don't even think Theory 11 had dropped yet. I think they had started just after I left the magic shop. Obviously, people couldn't buy from Murphy's, and you had Hank Lee and Hocus Pocus who had really crappy websites. I think Hocus Pocus still has a crappy website. And you had Penguin, but there wasn't like a ton of options. Like you didn't have Vanishing Ink. But when we knew things were coming out, like if it was something that was like, oh, we're probably not going to get that. If someone came in and asked for it, we'd be like, okay, we're going to make an agreement that I will order this for you, but you have to buy it. Like it's either you can make a deposit now, but you are tied to buying this. And we could get it in relatively quickly if we knew someone wanted it. We could get it in within a week. But they really stopped doing that. We're like, if I wanted something in recent years and was like, oh, I'm going to go buy this, or I'm going to go ask them to pre-order it for me. But it's like, no, we can't do that. We have to order X amount, which isn't true. I've worked it with magic shops and worked with Murphy's especially, and there may be like a minimum order-wise through Murphy's, but Murphy's doesn't tell you that you have to order a dozen or 2 dozen, 3 dozen, a gross of anything. We always only ordered like 2 or 3 products. That's how a lot of magic shops do it, especially small magic shops. They order 2 or 3 of something and move on. Now you may have to have a minimum order. They may say, hey, you have to order at least like $100 worth of stuff. But there's always $100 worth of magic to buy for a magic shop. So, yeah, that's, like I said, it is what it is. There's not a whole lot that, anyone can do about it. It's sad to see it go. It's been around Kansas City for a long time. But when you aren't competitive and you're not willing to compete, you're not willing to get new stuff in and reach out to your local clubs and work with your clubs and work with, they became very focused on Comic-Con here in Kansas City, where I feel like they really lost focus of magic in Kansas City. And it's just, it's a sad thing. But I digress. I don't have much more to say about it, except for I'm going to end the stream and try to figure out why this keeps stopping at 5 frickin' minutes. Because it's frustrating. So again, if you know anything about OBS, let me know, and then that way maybe I can get this thing figured out. But I have no idea why it only streams for 5 minutes and then stops. So I'll keep checking into it and keep posted for the next video. Will be probably coming this Thursday or Friday to drop live, and we'll kind of take it from there. So peace.